Hey guys, TerrorPUP here, and today I want to talk about something that I find pretty cool and very useful. If you're like me and you do a lot of work with Linux, you know that a few years ago, Windows released the Windows subsystem for Linux on Windows 10. And it's pretty cool. You can run a bunch of distros, and I'm going to show you guys here in a second what I'm running. But what was really cool about the project is the fact that if you know enough, you can actually get GUIs up and running. So what I'm going to show you guys real quick is that. So let's go ahead and we're going to open up Terminal. And if you don't have it, go to the Windows Store and install it. Windows Terminal is really good, and I highly recommend it. Okay. And then this here, the reason I prefer this over command line is you can later, once you get your Linux distro set up that you want to run, you can actually run other ones in here. So I'm going to start off with Kali Linux, which everybody knows is, is a good one to learn hacking. And the reason I'm going to run that one is I want to show you guys, and it's not there, so we're going to bring up my history real quick, how to run a desktop. So in Kali, you can install this software called Windows Connect, K-E-X, okay? And it's real simple. You do your Windows update and you can install it, and you'll get the actual desktop like you're seeing here. And to get it to come up, you simply run this, okay, from the distro. So we have our distro open, so we're going to go ahead and paste this in, okay, and type in my password. And here in a second, okay, a Windows should pop up, okay, and here we go. And let's go ahead and see if we can get it to restart. Okay, let's hit remove for right now, but there you go. And this is cool because I'm not running like your normal virtualization. I'm running Linux on top of Windows using the Windows subsystem. And this is pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. Okay, and we know it's there, and I know I can get back in it. Well, I was thinking, okay, what if I want to run something that is not Kali? What if I wanted to run something else? So I did some researching, and I'm going to share to you guys what I showed. I'm not going to go through on how to do it, but we'll go over the page. So I did this search as like, is there a way to get Kali Linux Windows Connect running on any other Debian distros? Now, why is that important? Ubuntu, Mint, Kali, they're all based on Debian, okay? Debian is the grandfather for all these, and they've done a lot of work with it. So down here, Techie Boy 69, and this is an old Reddit post, posted that there's this GitHub page, and I was like, let's see if it'll work. So I went over there, and here's his page. The Windows subsystem for Linux 2, because you have to have version 2. And just real quick to show you, if you're ever curious which version you are running, simply type in WSL V or L and V for version. So list -L is list and V is version. And as you guys can see, I am running version 2 of all these. And if you have to, and I'll put these links into the description, but if you need to upgrade to the latest and greatest, follow these instructions, okay? So anyway, going back to this. So I was looking at it and I was like, okay, let's see. You know, they're talking about you can use the new WSLG tutorial, which is using Wayland to get this up and running. And I was going like, okay. And so I went ahead and installed Debian. Now, if you notice here, here's a folder. This folder wasn't here because we're only using the distro to start off with. So I went ahead and installed Debian because I just want something that's going to be light enough weight to do what I wanted it to do. So the article, like most articles, they're like, oh, I use Ubuntu. Anyway, so started going through this and started reading. So I did the update, I did the upgrade, and then you have to create this file if it doesn't exist, or update it, because one of the things you have to do is you got to make sure you're running systemd for this to work. And this to show you, we're going to go through this to kind of show you. So using Windows Terminal, I'm now going to go to my drop down and I'm going to go down to Debian. It's now starting it, it's booting it up. And once it comes up, this is to kind of show you guys again. We're going to do Windows sub Linux list L list V, and see, Debian's now running. My OpenSUSE Tumbleweed is the only distro not running. And what's really cool about Windows subsystem for Linux, you can actually have multiple versions of Linux installed. Okay, so now it's there. Okay, so I was like, okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and become root. I don't recommend this. Normally I would tell you run the sudo, but I want to go through this real quick to show you guys what I did. So anyway, let's go ahead and become root. And we're going to change to etc. Now, when it installs just enough of the OS to get it up and running. Think of it like it's running Docker with this version on top of your Windows, okay? So, all right, I had to go create this file right here, and we're going to cat it out because on Debian it didn't exist. And see, boot systemd equals true. Okay, and I did do an app update, and then depending on what you want to run, you can now go through and you can choose the different distros. And what's cool is they actually explain, like if you want it to run LXDE, which is a real super lightweight desktop, you can run that. Or if you're an old Ubuntu fan and wanted to run Unity, you can run the Unity desktop. Or if you want to run Ubuntu because you want something lightweight. Well, I was looking at the Debian ones down here, and I decided, I know I said lightweight, but full confession, I went ahead and installed KDE. I figure if I'm going to install something, I need to go ahead and do it. Now, I did it. I ran this command here. It did get it up and running, and it's pretty cool. But here in a couple minutes, I'll show you something I was having issues with, and I need to go back later and figure out why it didn't work. Okay, so anyway, went through, I used task-kde desktop, ran this. Now there is no snap store, just to show you guys, because I guess I could do this real quick. We could do app update. Okay. and then app install snapd. Now, originally, before I did this, I did the whole snap install snap um, storefront, but because there is no snapd installed, I had to do this. So now we can actually go here. And by the way, one of the cool things again about using Windows Terminal, okay, is that when you copy and paste, it works. Kind of like Mobile Xterm, okay? So now it's installing the Snap Store for us, okay? So while it's doing that, I went ahead and configured it for UTF-8, and UTF-8 is something I highly recommend if you're someone like me who has family members who are from other countries and they send you stuff with sorry, that was one of my dogs. Not sure what's going on, but I apologize for that. But anyway, getting back to UTF-8, if you get something from another country, you're not going to get a whole bunch of little squares. It'll actually try to show you the 2-bit characters. So it's pretty nice. So, and just to show you, we're going to cat this file out that I did do this. Okay. All right. And snapd is still going and installing. So I'm going to open up another console into Debian. It's up and running. That's why it didn't take a long time. And we'll do sudo cat. Whoop. I did a control R. So let's do this. Sudo cat. And put in my password for my super user. And see, it is now set for UTF-8. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Now, the next thing I had to do is I had to tell it to create this service. Okay. And this goes up and installs it, or will install a service up underneath, just to show you guys. Okay. We go to Etsy systemd, or system. Okay. There is the service that I created. Okay. And it works out pretty good. All right. And then I went ahead and enabled it. And just to show you guys that it is enabled. Okay, we're going to come over here and we're going to do sudo system control status, and see, it is enabled and it's loaded. Okay, so that's good. Okay, all right, and then the other thing we had to do was we had to update the user runtime down here with this. And then I had to power it off. And when you power off the applications from not within the app, from another window, you would type in, and I'm going to shut down the Kali one just to show you. And let me turn off Etcher. I accidentally hit that on. So you come over here and you would do -- shut down Kali Linux. Okay. And my one window, it's now gone, and you can see it there. Okay, so it's all right. Now there's no startup. The minute you click on either the icon or use your Windows terminal, you can restart it. Okay, so now, and did it terminate all my? Oh, it was supposed to only shut down Debian. That's good to know. Okay, so let's restart Debian. And just to make sure it didn't crap out something. And it'll take a while because you're starting it up. So I'm going to go back in as root. And then, so let's copy our command for the snap store again. And I'm just trying to make sure I didn't see it complete. Okay, we're good there. All right. Now, when it starts back up, it will use the Tiger server that we installed to start it. Okay, but we just can't go in there and use it. Now, remember, I installed KDE. The document is talking like they installed GNOME. KDE does not use GNOME display management. That's what GDM is. It uses SDDM. Okay, so when I was going through and got to this step, I did try to use SDDM, but it wouldn't start like it's wanting to do here. So I had to real quick install GDM3, okay? And once I did that, this following steps did work, and but it was kind of frustrating. So if you're going to follow this, and again, this link will be in the description, you might want to just install whatever desktop you want, but make sure that GDM's in there. Now, supposedly Light DM, which is a lighter version of the display management, okay, will work. He just doesn't explain in here what he did. So I went through, I set my password, I set up the VACD password, I set up GD's password. We moved the Xorg script out and created a new one called XOR X VNC because we're using VNC to launch our desktop. We're not using XOR like you would do in a traditional way because we're going to connect to it here in a second. Because remember, this isn't really a traditional Linux system. This is Linux running on top of Windows. So that's why we want to do that. So I copied his script, went through, got it all organized, okay? And then shut it down again. And then again, he's warning you that if you're using Debian, that you have to use Debian-GDM, where Ubuntu uses this GDM. And I did do that. And I did do the custom. Okay. And the little ding ding, that's my visual bell going off because I'm making errors. Okay, and I do have it where it says auto login enable equals true, automatic login equals TerrorPUP me. Okay, and this, so what is interesting though, let me show you, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, so we're going to use SS because netstat is deprecated. And if you notice, VNC is running, but it's running on 501. He talks about how it's running on 501, but once you log in, it's going to recreate the desktop. So let's go ahead and minimize this. I'm going to close this extra terminal window. And I'm going to use Real VNC. I did a video while, or did I? No, I did a RDP and I did a mobile X term doing SSH. I need to do VNC because VNC with computers is really good. But anyway, so I went ahead, created an icon, okay? And it's going to try to connect, and it can't because of the whole fact that it's listening on 501. So let me change this for a second. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I'm trying to show you guys what I figured out so that you can see that it works. All right, so now I'm going to reconnect, and we'll type in the password that I created. And there it is. I'm going to log in now. And this will disappear here in a second because we're logging in. It listens on 501 once you're logged in. It's gone. So now I need to go back into properties, change this to 5902, and I'll log in again. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. What this is complaining about is we don't have a cert. With most VNC, you do want to have encryption going on so nobody can see your session and you're protected. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and connect. I'm going to type in my password and see down here it's warning me unencrypted. But look, guys, there's Debian running a desktop. Okay, and this is KDE, and I'll be quite honest, the performance so far has been very, very nice. Okay, and this couple things that I love. My favorite editor of all time, Kate. Fantastic. If you like WordPad, Notepad++, Kate's excellent. And then the other thing, this kind of show you guys one more thing. I press F2. Function F2. Nope, that's fine. Used to you could type F2 and you could type run. There's console. And there we are. We're running Debian Linux version 12, okay, on top of my Windows 10 session. And more importantly, we're running a GUI base. And this is not running in Hyper-V or VirtualBox or VM Workstation. This is using the Windows subsystem for Linux. And you have to use version 2. But anyway, I just wanted to share this, get this out to you guys because, like I said, it's pretty nice. I like it because, again, this is where you can work. Like if you're a developer or me, I write Ansible playbooks or I have to administrate Linux systems. And believe it or not, where I work at, they won't let me have a Linux desktop like where I've had in previous companies. This is the closest thing I can get to it. Okay? All right. So with that, that's going to be it. This is TerrorPUP. And please let me know how this is. I know you guys have seen me post some videos about how things haven't been working. I'm hoping I got this fixed. But anyway, till next time, peace.